Swing them now, but we not response. Fly out and make them love we from a distance. Come home for 2 weeks vacation. Enough of them still stuck in the quicksand. Enough to hear us say them are the big man. In a Jamaica and them have the hit song. A gentleman me hear a play a Finland. Me never hear them play in a Pakistan. That's simple mean we not ready yet. That one like a you own dance hall. While we there on a war on a hype. No take a control dance all. Give me a beat and a mic. Ready because you the voice. When me put that song up on my timeline. No, me not do it for the likes. Me tell them we do it for the love. We not do it for the likes. Jesus Christ, do it for the love. We not do it for the likes. Young into the beat, everybody move your feet. And enough in it, and me mama know fit it. After that, when we mix a tune and drop it like a bomb. Me no wanna waste guy a critique me song. Me no wanna media guy interpret me wrong. So make me give me credits in a dancehall fashion first. Big up Kalanji and the one Capleton. The Wild Apache and the one Ninja Man. Then big up the Killer and the one Beanie Man. King Yellow Man, Buru Buju Bantan. Early B, Nachina Simadi Dan. Me and Jamaica him sister Diamond. And none of them nobody like Marianne. Ladies, you are real big man. Big up Lady Dika, you are the La Vegan. Big up Dirts, man, and even brother Papa Son. Big up Gary Mine, you don't know what you got done. Big up Canicle, you are the tall Lakatan. Steal it, cleave it, Tony and Dave Kelly. Happy digital it and I'm a King Jammy. Exterminate and slay and rabbit. Stephen McGregor and Carly on it. Big up Suckle and Kane Bulby. Donovan, Jermaine, Graft and Mikey. Deep now the science and I know me ready. All of these Cub Scouts have to talk up to me. Not everybody I go like we, still we irie. Come in no love likes, in a dancehall style. And not everybody I go like, still we irie. Cause we no love likes, no. So every time I rise, we do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. We not do it for the likes. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Make them know success don't come overnight. No make them know a substance over hype. Do it for the love, we not do it for the life. No for them love likes, that's alright. Sit down on a post and a tweet all night. See them on social media type. While like say them they a studio advice. Oh me never put them up on no flight. And me never see them a live no tour life. You miss someone now you have so much likes. I'm always still a lead for iTunes. tune and drop it like a bomb. Me no wanna waste guy critique my song. Me no wanna media guy interpret me wrong. So make me give me credits in a dancehall fashion first. Big up Kalanji and the one Capleton, the Wild Apache and the one Ninja Man. Then big up the Killer and the one Beanie Man, King Yellow Man, Buru Buju Bantan. Early being a Chinasima the dance. Me and Jamaica him sister Diamond. And none of them no body like Marianne. Ladies, you are real big man. Big up Lady Dika, you are the La Vegan. Big up Dirt Small and him brother Papa Son. Big up Gary Miner, you don't know what you got done. Big up Chronicle, you are the tall Lakatan. Steal it, cleave it, Tony and Dave Kelly. Happy Digital it and I'm the King Jammy. Exterminate and slay and rabbit. Stephen McGregor and Carly on it. Big up Succulent, King Bulby, and a Van Germain. Still we irie, come in all of likes. In a dancehall style, and everybody a go like. Still me irie, come in a love life. No, so every time I rise, we do it for the love and I do it for the lights. Do it for the love and I do it for the lights. Make them know success don't come overnight. No make them know a substance over hype. Do it for the love and I do it for the light. Enough of them will love likes, that's alright. Sit down on a post and a tweet all night. Sit them on social media type. While like said them they a studio a vice. Oh me never put them up on no flight. And me never see them a live no tour life. You me someone now you have so much likes. I'm always still a lead for iTunes. Simple mean we not ready yet.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. We have a few people in the room. We have a few more we're waiting for. So we're just going to give them about 5 minutes and then we're going to start, yeah? All right. So thanks for being on time. We just want to give people 5 minutes just to get inside because we have a lot of people to come in. Okay.
Still we irie, come in all of a dancehall style, and everybody a go like. Still me irie, cause we not love life. No, so every time I rise, we do it for the love and I do it for the lights. Do it for the love and I do it for the lights. Make them know success don't come overnight. No make them know stands over I. Do it for the love and I do it for the light. Enough of them will love likes, that's alright. Sit down on a post and a tweet all night. Sit them on social media type. While like said them they a studio a vice. Oh me never put them up on no flight. And me never see them a live no tour life. You me someone now you have so much likes. I'm always still a lead for iTunes. Simple mean we not ready yet. If we put the music first, that's all. While we there on a war and a hype. Free work, dance all. When you see me, yes, and I see I. And every tune when me never write. And every show where we headline. No, we not do it for the likes, but we tell them we do it for the love. We not do it for the likes. What da 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 da. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Sing, them not like we, but we not response. Fly out and make them love we from a distance. Come home for 2 weeks vacation. Enough of them still stuck in the quicksand. Enough to hear us say them are the big man. In a Jamaica, and them have the hit song. A gentleman, me hear a play a Finland. Me never hear them playing a Pakistan. That's simple, mean we not ready yet. That one like a you own dance hall. While we there on a war on a hype. No take a control that's all. Give me a beat and a mic. Ready for the studio voice. But when me put that song up on my timeline. No, me not do it for the likes. Me tell them I do it for the love. We not do it for the likes. Jesus Christ, do it for the love. We not do it for the likes. Sing into the beat, everybody move your feet. And you know fit it, and me mommy know fit it. After that, when me mix a tune and drop it like a bomb, me no wanna waste guy a critique me song. Me no wanna media guy interpret me wrong. So make me give me credits in a dancehall fashion. First, big up Kalanji and the one Capleton, the Wild Apache and the one Ninja Man. Then, big up the Killer and the one Beanie Man, King Yellow Man, Buru Buju Bantan, Early B, Nachina Simadidan, me and Jamaica Lim Sister Diamond, and none of them no bad like Marianne. Ladies, you are real big man. Big up Lady Dika, you are the La Vegan. Big up Dirt Small and New Brother Papa San.
Good afternoon, everyone. How you doing? We're just giving 2 more minutes and then we're starting. Yeah? Okay, y'all, good afternoon. How are you doing? Y'all, we have the chat. So be sure to use the chat. I'm going to take a run through of the house rules with y'all so that you know how we're going to interact in this session. I want to make the session as interactive as possible for y'all. Right? So I know y'all just heard the Chronic song in the waiting room. And I asked for that song to be played specifically because of how we're going to focus on our social media marketing this afternoon. We are looking at things like strategy. We don't want to get caught up in trends, right? So, you know, the song says we do it for the love, not for the likes. That's what we're looking at. We're looking at the love of what? The love of trying to make our business grow. We love our businesses. Anybody in here who has already started a business, you know how tough it can be. It is not for the faint-hearted. And sometimes you work hard and, you know, the results, sometimes they're slow to come, but they do come. So what I want us to do today is to really focus on the nitty-gritties of social media marketing. This is not going to be a webinar about trends because trends, they come and go, but strategy is constant. Strategy is not a trend, right? So we're going to be looking at the things you really need to focus on, the things that will stay with you 3 years from now, 5 years from now. That's what I want to equip you with. So before we kick off, let's go through the house rules. So we will be taking questions after the session. As we are talking, post your questions in the Q&A section via the tab at the bottom of your screen. You may need to click more if you're not seeing the Q&A. For the Q&A segment, if you want to voice a question, you will need to raise your hand. You raise your hand by looking at the same bottom of the screen or wherever you have that strip located, and you click the raise your hand button. You can also use the reactions and so on. If you want to ask a question, which means, you actually unmute your mic and talk, you raise your hand and our administrator will unmute your mic so that you can talk and ask questions. If you are having technical issues during the webinar, again, you can private message the administrator for PSCU and they will help you out. They are listed under the panelist tab to the right of the screen. So this session we had a good bit of people booked for it. As we go along, I will see how many are there. Depending on the numbers, what I will do is at intervals, if the numbers are smaller, because you know how it is for webinars. Everyone says, yes, I'm signing up. And 500 people say, yes, I'm coming. And then not the whole 500 comes. So if it is that the numbers are manageable, I will also allow you all to ask questions during the segment so that you can get responses as things pop into your head. If the numbers are too high and we can't do that, we will just answer the questions afterwards. But as the questions pop into your mind, go into the chat room and put them there because I will check there at intervals. So today we are looking at how can you use social media to grow your business. As I said, strategy is not a trend. Strategy is constant. Strategy is about looking at what can work best for you. What can you leverage? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What opportunities do you have before you? What threats are there before you? So right now we're living in the age of COVID. We can't get away from it. There's no conversation that you can have these days about business or marketing without thinking about COVID. How is it impacting you? How is it impacting your social media? How is it impacting your customers? Trends have nothing to do with that. All of the pretty things on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, whatever it is, at the end of the day, it's substance over hype, right? So we're going to be looking at the substance-filled things that you can do to improve your social media. So one thing I want you to start thinking about is, what is my objective for social media? Is it that I'm using social media because people say that I should be using social media? Am I using social media because I really don't know what to do? I decided to start a business. I have to get customers and hey, they say the social media thing could work, so let me try it out. And now you just want to throw the whole computer away because you realize that this social media thing is a bit frustrating. I mean, I've been doing social media since 2005, and if I could throw social media away, I would, because it's a lot of work. But there is a way to make it a lot more seamless for yourself. What I will be doing with you all is giving you what I call the Spranger version of trying to use those expensive tools that cost all kind of 10,000 a year and so on, where people go to get their insights and their measurements and generate reports and so on. Reports that tell them, the best time of day for their community, the best time of day to post for their community, what people are responding to, what types of content they like the most and so on. I call it the Spranger version, which is using different trials. So we're going to be looking at those things. But all of those things are going to be keyed back to what are your objectives? So why are you using social media? Is it just, to get awareness? Is it to get sales? Is it to target a certain audience that you can't find somewhere? So I want y'all to take a minute and write down one objective that you have and make it a SMART objective. SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic and time bound. So is it realistic? I can say I want 10,000 clients by Christmas. Is that realistic for a business to business company like mine, like Livewire Group? No, it isn't. If you know that you need 10 clients a month as a hairstylist in order to meet your targets, right? Then you know, okay, it's realistic for me to try to get 10 clients a month. Hey, I can even manage 20 clients. So those are the kind of things that you look at when you're looking at your objectives. Because I did this just today, where in the ad manager on Facebook, and I will try to show you all this before we go, if it is that you all haven't ever used ad manager. If you have never used ad manager, just go in the chat and let me know so that I know, okay, there are people who haven't used it. When you go to create an ad, and you can even do this from a boost, right? And you select, well, I want to target people aged 25 to 45 in Trinidad and Tobago. I haven't put any interest there to break it down to who likes hairdressing or who likes fashion and so on. But just generally, we have 490,000 people. If you could get less than 10% of that per year, you know that that will help your business a lot. So we're looking at those types of things, right? Because you can get a piece of the pie. But the first thing you have to ask yourself is, what is my value proposition? So what is your value proposition? What is your value proposition? Do you know what it is? Your value proposition really is the overall benefits that you give to your clients, to your customers. So I have a list here of some of the businesses, right? I have a list of some of the businesses in the room. And we have here children clothing and accessories, retail apparel, popcorn, custom made, female clothes and fabric design, communication services, food, beauty, agriculture, waxing, lash, baked goods. And I'm seeing a lot of people are doing a lot of buying food and stuff online these days because COVID has us indoors and bored, right? We have trainers, health and wellness, wine, natural hair products, a laundry, right? Underneath the business to business, we have general contractors. We have businesses too that can cross both. When I say business to business, I mean companies like, say, me, Livewire Group, our general customers are, a company will call us and say, hey, we want your services. So for example, PSCU says, hey, Carol, we want to do something for our members during the month of October, which is International Credit Union Month. And we want to have a series because normally they do have member development and educational workshops throughout the year. For Credit Union Month, they wanted to bump that up, right? So they come to me. So those are my kind of customers. Then there may be a car rental. The car rental would appeal to consumers as well as companies who may be looking for vehicles for their people at times, right? So we have other training people in the group as well, event catering, printing, legal services, media, risk, fraud, compliance, lawyers, HR, sales and marketing, accounting. You get the gist there. So we have quite a range of businesses represented. As I said, you all, as questions pop by, right? So we're saying 2 people said that they have not used Maria McIntosh. Maria, we have to talk with my family. So Maria, Avion, and Afisha saying that they haven't used Ad Manager. So I will show you all what it looks like. One of the good things of using Ad Manager is that unlike Boost, you tend to have a cheaper cost per click price for your ads, and you get to manage things a bit better. So I will show that to you. So I am making a note to myself to show you all the Ad Manager, right? So let's go back. Let's go back to the slides as I run you all through some of the things. So we were talking about the value proposition. So if I'm a hairdresser, what is my value proposition? My value proposition might be I use the best products. So you walk out of here looking like you're from a magazine. My value proposition, if I am a hairdresser who specializes in natural hair, maybe I actually know how to handle natural hair. It's healthy, it looks great, and I work with different hair types, as opposed to telling people, hey, we know what we're doing and we don't really know what we're doing. It might be safety. It might be specializing in the type of customers you serve. So yes, there are women who go to the hairstylist, but there are also men who go by women hairstylists as well, right? You have barbers and so on. If you're a lawyer, who is your audience? If you're an upcoming lawyer and you're looking at serving the general public, then you know you have 490,000 people that you can target out there. But you're looking at who am I attracting? Who will pay attention to me online? What will get their attention? And what can I do within the framework of the regulations of my industry? Because I know lawyers have rules around the types of things they can do and how they can handle themselves. How do I make myself different? If I'm a human resource firm, how do I make myself different from another one? Because everybody tries to be professional and stuffy. It's a leftover from colonialism, but people respond to emotion. They respond to personality. So we're going to talk about brand personality. So part of my value proposition is the overall benefit. And it is really not just the rational, which is I get my hair done, but I get hair that makes me feel good. Or I get an HR provider who is reliable. So you tie those things. So you always look at what are people's wants, what are their needs, what are their fears, what are their experiences, right? Prior to COVID, what was your value proposition then? Has COVID caused you to have to change your value proposition? Because what people see as value, at the end of the day, that is what determines your success online, right? So what may have been, come by me to do hair might be like, I'm not too sure. I don't want to I don't want to go by anybody because I'm being extra careful because of COVID, right? And we're going to talk about the different types of people, the different types of audience personas, and how that correlates to my value proposition. So agriculture, we have a few agriculturists in the room. If your product is agriculture, if you're farming, you're selling fruits and vegetables, what are some of the concerns that people have with that? Do you want dried up vegetables? No, you're not paying money for dried up vegetables. So your value proposition might be fresh vegetables. It might be no pesticides or few pesticides. It might be delivery to your door, right? So you get fresh vegetables delivered to your door within a day of ordering or within 2 days of ordering. So those are some of the things I want you to think about because this actively feeds into the type of content that you would generate for your social media. So I want you all to think about these things. I also want you, right? I also want you to think about who is your ideal customer. Who is your ideal customer? So y'all can go in the chat and tell me who is your ideal customer? Yeah? Who is your ideal customer? So if it is that I'm a car rental service, is my ideal customer somebody who tends to use it for long weekends or maybe tends to use it for work? Or is it companies who may be more reliable with bookings? If it is that I am a seamstress, right? Who is my ideal customer? Is it the person who tends to make work suits? Is it the person who tends to order stuff for when they want to go out? Who is your ideal customer? If you're an event company, who are the people? And when you're looking at your ideal customer, you're looking at a slew of different things. It might be one, they're willing to pay your price. Because the thing with COVID is that it has forced some people to lower their prices. But you can also look in other areas to see, hey, am I missing some customers who will still pay my price because the quality of my work is there. And I want y'all to show, as we go along with this, think about the work you can show. Because sometimes all of us, we go through it. You're looking for something. Right now, I'm looking for a bookshelf. I want a wooden bookshelf. I want a real wooden bookshelf. I don't want to go and buy an MDF bookshelf that is a lot of money in a store. When I can get a nice homemade bookshelf. But when you go on Instagram, when you go on Facebook, I catch them in an end to find that, right? So we're looking at, hey, are we showing our work to our ideal customer and can they find what they're looking for? What is my own most essential, right? So Alison is saying how ideal customers busy working professionals. And it might be so because they're busy, right, Alison? Because they're busy, they'll be willing to pay for the interest you're taking off of their plate with whatever it is that you're delivering to them. So we ask, who is my ideal customer? And you're asking that question because then it tells you, who am I making content for? Right? What is my most essential product to a high quality customer? Yeah. So Alison does laundry for busy professionals, right? Because who wants to go home and have to wash a set of clothes and fold up, right? It's always stressful. So she looks at what are the messages I'm sending out there to those people, right? We have another person, they say their ideal customer is, Candice is saying that her ideal customer is classy business professional or owner. Yeah. Another one, Sarah Maya is saying her ideal customer, their mothers. Another one who says homeowners who want to reduce the electric bill. Lauren, tell us what your product is, because I want to hear about that product that reduces electric bills, right? But you're looking at what are the products that can generate revenue, and what are the products that can attract your ideal customers. Yeah, because you want to ask yourself what sets you apart. If your customers' demands are shifting, has Corona changed that? After Corona, what position are they going to be in? What causes friction for your customers? So there are some of us, we get the attention on social media, but then when people call, they can't get good customer service. Or maybe we just can't meet the demand, right? Or maybe the email address, something happened with the email address and we didn't realize some people aren't getting through. Yeah, what are the things that cause friction? Or maybe people are commenting on your post. That happened to me just this week. People are commenting on your post, asking you about your product or your service, and you tell them, send me a WhatsApp. So I must come off of Instagram to send you a WhatsApp when I could just DM you on Instagram right there. So little things like that could cause friction, because depending on what I'm doing at that point in time, I really don't want to have to switch, right? Another thing is, you have to look at, do I address any issues people may have? So the friction for someone who wants to reduce their electric bill, the federal paying all of these bills, right? So somebody is saying here they deliver solar systems. If I hear here's what it's easy, there's an initial cost for setting up, but you're saving X amount per year. That is something that looks at the friction I go through every few months when I have to pay my bill. I can reduce that. Or the friction in reaching the company, I can reduce that. Then you also have to ask yourself, am I responding in a way that encourages questions and sales? So that same example that I gave to you all with the person who told me to send them a WhatsApp, right? That not making any sense. It's not making any sense. Additionally, it was for an event. It was a weight loss event, and they were having it at 7 a.m. in the morning. Anybody in here who wants to lose weight, right? You might want to lose weight, but you might not want to wake up for a webinar at 7 a.m. So then you have to ask yourself, again, who is the audience? I want to take them from awareness to action, but I have to make it easy for them. So asking me to wake up 7 o'clock on a Saturday morning after I've worked hard for the week to attend a webinar, which requires focus, concentration, and so on, that creates friction. So again, look at what it is that you're doing, right? So I have here on the screen a girl, she's on her phone. What are we going to do to get that person to call us? And we're going to go through some of those things, right? Now we have 2 polls to run during this webinar, and then we're going to discuss them, looking at what are your challenges, right? When you're looking at your challenges, I want you to think about where you are right now and where you want to be. It is now, let's basically call it the end of October. Christmas is coming. For those of us, how many of you all have products and services that are relevant to people who are shopping for Christmas? Have you started marketing them? Have you started putting out content? Those are some of the things I want you to start jotting down as we talk, right? Because these are the things that will feed into your content, because I'm going to run you all through. I'm going to run you through these slides, but then I'm going to show you all how to physically create content, because I want you all to be able to get up. Yeah, right. So Candice Alexander is saying she does. So Candice, tell us in the chat, because I will shout out your product or your service, right? Looking at how you create that content, because you want to balance your short-term and your long-term goals. You also want to think about your strategy. And I'm going to run you all through one of the key things, the easiest things that will help your strategy. Looking at the emotions that your customers have. What emotions do they have about your product? What emotions do they have about the issues that they are facing? Right? You have to look at these kind of things. You have to look at what is the benefit? What is my value proposition? So value proposition is tied into your strategy, is tied into your audience segment, because you might have about 5 different segments. Because we might say, all right, my target is lazy professional. I'm lazy. Well, busy and sometimes lazy, because sometimes we're lazy to do laundry, right? But in the midst of those, you have those people. What is the reason for them needing someone to do the laundry? Or what is the reason that someone needs to carry their child to a hairdresser to do their hair? It may be because they're not that good with hair. I had to learn to comb my hair at 5 years old because my mother has Spanish hair and she don't even know how to comb her own hair. So I was forced to do it, right? Whereas somebody else, they just like it. They like to pamper themselves and do self-care and they carry their child along with them. You have different segments in your audience. If you're doing events, let's say you're a wedding event coordinator, how are the brides different from each other? You would over the years you would realize I do in fact have different types of brides, and they all have different personalities, right? There are some people. So Candace is saying she sells premium fruit wine. Yeah, who would buy wine? There are people they still love. Christmas is a time for nostalgia. So again, your strategy would tap into nostalgia. That is an emotion. I remember when I used to get black tea from Granny and this one and that one, right? So you use those things in pushing your messaging and building a brand on social media. So you're looking at things like strategy. I want us to think about our strategy. What emotions we are leveraging, what emotions we're tapping into. We're looking at creative. How creative do we get with the messages that we put out there? Because I know that my strategy is okay, I'm going to go after this segment of the audience. These are the kind of emotions that they have. These are the fears that they have, the wants that they have, the experiences that they've had, or the experiences that they want. And this is all of these feelings that they have here, and this is my product or service here. In the middle here, the content, the messages you put out, those ads, content, whatever format, that is the gap that you're trying to fill. And the more relevant your content is to their need, is the closer it comes together. And then you get the call. Then you get the message or the comment, and which ultimately you drive towards the sale. So you're looking at these types of things. You're also looking at, all right, content. I could use photos, I can use videos, maybe memes. I might have polls, surveys. I might create my content in a way that it's gamified, meaning you might put up 4 hairstyles and say, hey, what do you all think about this? Which one do you want? But it showcases your work. And I'll show you all an example of a brand that does that. Creative. Is it something that gets people's attention? Then, after you spend all this time on content, how many people are seeing it? Sometimes we kill ourselves out for a post that we think is the most amazing thing since sliced bread. And then you know, only 50 people see it because Facebook has significantly reduced reach. IG has its ups and downs these days as well, right? Because I don't know if you all saw, but Facebook is trying to integrate the 2 channels. So now some people are getting the messages where they can cross message between IG and Facebook. So you're looking at, hey, I've created this content. How does it reach people? And that's why I'm going to show you our ad manager. Because if you're running a business, you can't get away from it. You are going to have to spend some money to reach the audiences you want to reach at times, right? So we're gonna be looking at that type of thing. We're looking at the relevance. We're looking at the value. What is the value that you bring? Right? So I want you to also come in the chat and tell me the type of business you have, huh? Because I can't go through all of the names that we have in here one time, but it would bring up examples for me to use because I want to make sure that who's in the room, I'm talking about your type of business as well. So we wanna look at what are we doing? And the first thing you need to do is to audit your brand, right? So we spoke about this just now. Audit, audit your social media. What are you doing so far? Do you have a plan? Have you had a plan? And when I say a plan, I don't mean a plan you spend thousands of dollars by someone's home. Basic, what is my objective? Who do I want to reach? What are the key messages that I'm putting out there? And that key message is your value proposition. So I deliver clean laundry on time for busy professionals. So you don't have any time to do your laundry, come to us. Or car rentals. Need a car to rent? Want a car that your show has been sanitized? Because remember, it's COVID, right? So we're not just, renting things willy-nilly anymore. Sanitization has to be something that you talk about. So you're looking at what am I doing? And your audit looks at what you're doing well, what you're not doing well. So you start to identify your gaps. You look at your branding as well. You look at your audience segments. You look at your budget. So I know that for some of us, the revenue isn't there just yet. But you ask yourself, hey, can I afford to spend 20 US a month to reach people? So my other posts, I'll just put them up and hope for the best in terms of reach. I'll do my best to put out great content and hope that it reaches people. I will use stories, Instagram stories, and so on, and ensure that it reaches people. But I know I want to sell my specific wine or weight loss teas and coffee. Hey, that might be a good gift for Christmas for a health fanatic, or it's something that's year round that people want, right? You could create content and say, here's what, you have a Tobago, no carnival in 2021, but look at the bright side, you have more time to lose weight for carnival 2022. And you're promoting weight loss. Somebody else has here, he's targeting the classy businessman who hates waiting for hours to get a trim. Yeah, Arun does graphic design and printing. Wendy Ann does risk management, business continuity, compliance management, and fraud management, right? So all of these different types of businesses, what is the messaging? You don't have to wait. You can get great service quickly with no wait time at Chuma's barbering services. Yeah, and then he would showcase his workspace so people get a sense of this is the ambiance that I'm going to be experiencing. He'll show off some of his haircuts so people get a sense of, okay, this is what it looks like. Wendy, who's doing consultancy for risk management, business continuity, compliance management, and fraud. There's a wealth of content she can develop. Because, business to business stuff, it could seem as if it would be boring, but it isn't. Because what happens if your workplace, everything crashes today? Somehow the computer shut down, or somebody commits arson, or something. What are the systems in place to ensure that you all can continue to work? For the companies who let staff work from home, what were the systems in place? Because COVID, they had to bring in some level of business continuity for that, depending on the setup at their companies. Even the way people work from home now, has it created some risks for companies? So all of these are questions, that can be put forward. But I want you all to really think about these little questions that your customers have, the questions they ask you on the phone, the questions they ask you in the inbox. You can use those as inspiration for content to develop your messaging. But always remember, you need to have some budget assigned to it. Even if it's as little as $20 a month, 20 US a month, right? You use that because you need to get the reach. You're also looking at your customer response. Am I responding to customers in a way that generates sales or encourages conversation? Somebody might ask you, hey, do you have this kind of tea? No, we don't, full stop. That's a close conversation right there, right? But if you say, hi, we don't have that tea in stock. However, we have X, Y, Z. What type of teas do you like? Or, is it that you're looking for the tea for weight loss or just to have a nice cup of tea? And they'll respond, and from there you get more information, and you can actually generate, a brand fan out of that, or a sale. But you're looking at these things, you're looking at design. I want you all to write down the word Canva, Canva.com. I'm going to put it in the chat here, canva.com. It is a site that allows you to design great posts for your social media. They give you the images one time. You can also create custom images, right? They also have a content calendar that they recently put in place. I believe you need to have a pro account for that. I believe Canva is about a 120 US for a year. But it allows you to do design. There are some things that you need to just go on your own to do those things. And then there are some things you have to bring in the professionals like an Arun or whoever else to give you that, statement design. But there are ways that you can, the more you play around with it, the more familiar that you get with it. But I want you to think about these things, think about your KPIs. Refer to that SMART objective. Did you all write down your SMART objectives? If you have, remember earlier when I told you to write your SMART objective? Yeah? So, right, so Anne-Marie is saying she uses Canva and a lot of her customers are quite impressed, which means Anna has an eye. Yes, and Arun uses it for his own ads, right? So even designers will tell you Canva, I call Canva B. Canva is B all day for me. Because the more you play with it, and especially if you already have an eye for design, you can create some amazing stuff. Yeah, but I want you all to go in each chat and write down your KPIs. Write down that objective you wrote for me that you want X number of clients per month. But if you're a business, the business company, who you just really need 2 good clients on retainer, or maybe 3 good clients a quarter, yeah, to meet your revenue target. I want you all to put those things in there for me, right? But we're looking at all of these things: strategy, creative, content, relevance, the value that you offer to people, because that is what's going to determine the content you put out. Whether you use memes, photos, videos, live stories, quizzes, polls, whatever your content mix is, right? You want to do that. Now, Lauren has here 20 product sales per month. So she wants 20 sales per month. Now, if she wants 20 sales per month, how many people does she need to reach on social media? Always have to tell that question. If I need 20 customers per month, how many people need to see my content? And let's be honest, we will know 1,000 people will look at it, and probably we might get 400 paying attention. You might get 600, but then out of there, it's always like a bucket, right? Some filter out as we go along. So that's why you need to have the ad budget as well, because you need to reach as many people as possible to meet that goal. Yeah? I want us to also play a game. So I have this good chart I did up where we connecting the dots. So you all remember this game from school? They used to use this first in English and that kind of stuff. So I have here strategies going across the objectives. Yeah. Then we have advertising, branding, response, and emotions. For advertising, which one on the right do you think advertising matches? Put it in the chat for me. Yes, so somebody got it correct. Yeah. So Allison has reach. Reach, yes. So advertising goes with reach. Branding. What does branding go with? Now, there are no wrong answers. We're just looking at the one we think is most likely to match with. Right, so some people said message. Some people said service. Some people said engagement. All right, so here's what to do for me. Take a minute and come up with the answers to branding, response, and emotions. And then we will come back and answer them individually. So take a 30 minutes for that. That's a 30 seconds, sorry, not 30 minutes. Okay, you all have them? All right, let's go. Who wants to go? Oh, gosh, sorry. Sorry there. Let me take off my annotates. All right, come back in the chat. What do you all have for branding? So type your what you have for branding. What you have for, okay. What you all have for response? What did we have for advertising? So bear in mind, we had objectives for strategy and we had matched reach to advertising. Remember that? Yeah. So let me scroll up in the chat here. All right. So I'm seeing here, we have response engagement. We have response messaging. We have branding as service. We have response for messaging. We have branding for reach. And let's keep the reach with the advertising. Yeah, because the way the social platforms are now, you have to pay to get the reach that you want out there. All right, now, if you realize all of these are related to each other. Yeah, but for the purpose of the game, we're looking at, okay, strategies, objectives. Yeah, strategies, objectives. If we look at branding, right, it's very much tied to your messaging as well. Your response, we can look at response as messaging, but I don't want us to think about it as messaging in terms of, you know, literally sending back a message. It's messaging in terms of what are the brand messages? What does my company say to people? What does my brand say to people? Yeah. So we want to stick the branding with the messaging, right? Of course, it will have impact on engagement, but if we want to drive engagement, what do we need to target? We need to target people's emotions. Yeah. So we want to tie that there. And I want you all to remember that your emotions will always get you the engagement. You all please forgive my crapple foot. Yeah, but you're looking at that. You also looking at response. The response that we give to people online have a lot to do with how they view our service. I should have used a line for this there, but yeah, but response to service, right? So I want you all to think of these things. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove the drawings that I did. What you all can do, oh gosh, let me undo that. Let me close this. What you all can do is take a photo of the screen before we move off, so that even for yourself, you keep it as a reminder of the way things are aligned. Because if your emotions target people to carry them on a journey, you're going to get that engagement. Your branding is tied to your messaging. It's tied to your service. It's also tied to engagement. So they're all interrelated. But what I want you all is to have little checkpoints that you keep yourself focused on. Yeah? You all took your photos? I'm counting to 10. All right, and I'm moving on to the next slide. All right. So we know we have the different channels. Some of us use Facebook and Instagram. Some of us use Instagram alone. Some of us use WhatsApp as well in terms of the flow that people have in the messaging. So you can see my ad, you can see my post, and I have it set to send me a WhatsApp message on Facebook. Yeah, some of us use LinkedIn. So Wendy would use Facebook. Alison might even decide to go on LinkedIn to join Wendy, who also has a LinkedIn page. She might be there as an individual and as a company. Yeah, but you see, I have that, right? So Wendy says, yes, she uses LinkedIn as well. I have this little tab to your website at the top. Always in the back of your mind, think about how you can capture customer information. If Facebook was to somehow disable your page today or disable your Instagram account, or somebody caused your LinkedIn page to go down, where would you be? Would you lose access to your audience? So if you have a website, have a subscription link where they can submit their email addresses for updates. If you don't have a website, I'm not suggesting that you put yourself in expense that you can't afford right now to get one. What I would say is maybe like when you have ads as well, you can do lead ads in Ad Manager. So you can, and Ad Manager is pretty easy to go to navigate. But you can choose a lead ad, and what it does, it gives a contact form where people can plug in the information. So who is interested in getting wine for Christmas, or which busy, or you want to book an appointment to get your hair done at my barber salon, fill in the information and we'll contact you, or to make a booking, right? But I want you to always think about that. How do I attract people, and how do I capture the information, and who is my audience? Because within, as we said, within those busy men, there are all kind of different ones. They're the ones, they just want a normal criminal. Then there are ones, they're the metrosexuals. They're looking for a different kind of experience. What are their personas? You always create personas. Yeah? So think about that. Write down create four kinds of people. Write down what their goals are, what their needs are, what their fears are, what their experiences are like. What is their budget? How much they would spend with you a month? There are some people, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, there's an ice cream delivery service called Sorvete TT, and they deliver ice cream to your home every weekend. And some people buy 2, some people buy 10, and it's $50 for a pint. It's the most delectable ice cream I've ever had. But anyway, the point is that sometimes we think people don't have money, and sometimes they don't. But when they get money, they remember their favorite thing, and they come by you for that, right? So again, you're looking at the strategy of tapping into the emotions and the nostalgia. You're looking at these things. For a business, I remember the last time I did business with Wendy, or a colleague of mine, I called to find out who could help me. And they said, hey, check this person, right? So you're looking at these types of things. Arlene, who can help me out? So you're looking at that, and always bear in mind how your customers' situations have changed. Do they have money right now? Don't they have money? Has their behavior changed? The person who would not have paid a premium for your product, or the person who wouldn't have paid a premium to be the only person in your hairdressing salon at this particular point in time, would now pay it because their focus is on safety. So you're looking at these things. You're looking at how can I carry them on a roller coaster of emotions. Your content, does your content do that for people? So if you created a post, and I'll show you all some posts in a bit, one of the tactics in linking emotions and engagement to really up the engagement is stuff that carries people through a series of emotions. So I don't know if any of you all saw the Trini Alphabet series, the guy named Stefan, right? And he'll say, like, you're actually seeing one here, I have the word hanging, right? And I found out about it because I was doing a workshop last week, and I was teaching business writing and teaching about the grammar in the grammar segment, telling them that, hey, if your sentence hanging, it means it's a sentence fragment. And then they told me about it. But one of the reasons people like it so much is because, one, we didn't think about doing a Trini alphabet. So the examples you used had you going, what? And then laughing, it carried you through a roller coaster of emotions. So even, yes, so even in developing your own content, what is the roller coaster of emotions that people can go through? Right, the example they use, it might be doing a 4-picture collage, and in Canva you can use a grid where they pull, and I'll show it to you, where you pull in your 4 pieces, and you can show, different expressions or different scenarios. So I went from my hair looking like a fowl, right? You can even ask, I'll give you all of that, children, in a secret. Earlier on in a practice run with the admin who I know, right? I didn't have my hair combed as yet, but I know her, so I could show up on camera looking a hot mess. I have to clean up for you all, right? But again, if we were to take a picture of this person looking a hot mess, dressed nicely, but the hair is a mess, and then one on the right, it creates a roller coaster. So you find different ways of connecting with people. You also look at, okay, how am I going to create some stopping content, right? One of the key things is buying into who your brand is. So is your brand a caregiver, right? You all could take a photo of this as well. It's from Carl Jung. He's a psychiatrist. And a lot of the brand archetypes you find, you can find it on Google easily, right? They tap into what he looked at as the unconscious desires and needs that people have. So if my brand is a caregiver, how does it care about its people? If it's a creator, so Arun is a creator because he makes things. The person who is the wine creator makes things. The hairdresser is a creator, the explorer. You could even be an explorer with just the types of flavors. If you're a catering company or a baker, you're not just doing normal things. There's a sense of exploration in using your products. So even the same item I refer to, every month the flavors change. So there's a bit of fun in that, right? You look at these things and how they play into what you do. If you're a jester, it means you can have fun, right? You have the lover, the magician. Some hairdressers are magicians. Makeup artists are magicians, right? So you can play on all of these things in your content. If you're a sage, it means you're somebody is sharing information. So a Wendy, sharing information. The finance person, sharing information, the knowledge, right? So Ansel now showed up asking about persons in finance. So we need to hear from you all of the time, Ansel. We need help. We need help in our personal finances. We need help in running our business. We need help to remember all of the rules that relate to how to run our businesses. So if it is that you just started your business, you registered your business. We all want to register a business name, and nobody tells us, hey, that we also need to file annual returns every year. You got to pay NIS, you got to pay health surcharge, PAYE, you have certain deadlines, all of these different things. There's no one to guide us with that. And that's why you see people online advertising, hey, we register and stuff for you. But there's also that educational aspect. There's a lot we don't know, right? But you want to marry all of that with your content, your messaging, and your design. Am I using images that are unexpected? Does it create some humor? Right? If you use Canva, in Canva Pro as well, you get a lot of access to images you wouldn't have access to in the free version. And you can find interesting things to make them, look different. You want to look at, what are my ideas for content? Yeah, so I have here, you have your tips for audience A. Remember, I told you they have different types of audiences. So you have audience A, you have audience B across here, right? There's different content for different types of people in the audience. There's different content for the person who feels they know everything about finance. And then there's content for the person who they're just hungry for knowledge because they want to do better, or they want to avoid some of the drama they went through before. Then you always ask yourself, what are the products that drive revenue for me? You know that you're going to have to make a post about those 2 things at least twice a week. Yeah. Then some of us, we got user-generated content. Our customers will send us pictures of our products. So me drinking my glass of homemade wine, I can use those as pictures. polls and surveys, quotes, that kind of thing. Gamified content would be like, you know, which one of these 4 lines you all think is best? Yeah. Or if I'm a financial service, yeah, let's pretend I just gave all of you all $10,000, and I can do 4 options of what you can do with that $10,000. And then I ask you all, which option will you choose? That's what we call gamifying content. So you look at those kind of things. You really want to show your work, yeah, so people can find you. Ask yourself if there are people who are looking for you and they can't find you. You find out with plus size clothing. Every store you go to, we don't have that. Nobody buys that. But yet every day you see plus size people walking around with clothes on. So where are they getting it? They have to go and search. That is why certain stores, they make a ton of money because they made themselves open and accessible. So you have to ask yourself, am I making myself open and accessible to people? Ashley, you mentioned, Miss, what about local business? I want you to clarify what you mean by that for me so I could respond to that. Yeah, so I'm showing you all here an example of Lola's Food Company. I don't know if you all know Lola's. They're on Chaguanas Road. Again, very tasty food. Some of the stuff is, most of the stuff is very affordable. You can tailor it to how you want. But look at the content that they put up. They just put up pictures of the food. But their branding, their personality, right? So they don't have to do any design because the food is the design. It looks good, it's well shot. And they just have here, haven't had my coffee yet. And feeling lazy to write a caption. Sleepy face. Buy our food, please. Thanks. Then they have what a time to be alive. A few taps on your phone and your breakfast of choice shows up at your house soon after. It's kind of sort of maybe a little bit like the Jetsons somewhat. Download the Skip the Line app to get delivery options for our entire menu. Now, the one where they said they're feeling lazy get more likes, you all saw that? Yeah? All right. So Ashley's oldest son, tell us the question you're asking, right? But look at what they did there for Lola's. Again, this is basically buy more food, please. But it's a joke. But the more people interact with the page, they realize that there's that sort of irreverent voice. We having fun. It's food. We don't need to be serious. And then in the other one, they're showing you, they're keeping that same voice, but they're telling you, you can order our food through the Skip the Line app. Yeah, because that's another way that they're getting their food out to people in COVID times, right? Then we have here Lucent Research, which is what we call business to business. They do focus groups and surveys and so on. They had to move their focus groups online. But what they did, they also showed it in ads. They did ads showing like, you know, a short focus group on COVID-19. So people get a sense of what it looks like. Clients now can see how it would work. Even the people who would volunteer to be part of a focus group would say, okay, I could sign up for this, because before it would have been done in person. They mightn't sign up as much, but now they know, oh, okay, this is how we're doing it. This is how it works. So again, you need to show your work, right? This here is Crew Cuts. It's a barbering salon in Chaguanas, very popular online. But notice what he did for his cover photo on Facebook. He put where he is, because what's the next question people ask when they see all his designs? Where you're located, right? So he put it right there. Yeah, so you don't always have to get fancy to have something effective, right? These are some of the stuff that he puts up. So this is a hairstyle with the purple hairs, of course, which will get attention. This is him in the middle doing a video saying hi. He likes to spread positivity. He shows another hairstyle there, right? And you're seeing what he's doing here. He's showing the reactions. He also shows the reactions, the emotional reactions that people have when they get their hair done. You all ignore that little green V on the girl's eye and then erase that annotation. Yeah. And then you see the girl who she's cutting off her locks. And then the gamified thing, he did the same thing. If you could only choose two, which would you choose? Right? So Arlene says that she wants the one in the middle row with the heart on the back of her head. Yeah. So you see how he plays around with that. This here is an architecture company, Akla. Now with business to business, you won't always get a high numbers like you get for food and hairstyles, right? But what you find is you have to look at what you, again it comes back to your KPIs. Don't just focus on your likes. Remember, Chronic said it. Don't just focus on your likes. Did we get clicks? So this one here on the left, that was a post on their website. The process map, building your home in TNT. So they created a guide for the process of building your home from approvals to construction. This is something that future homeowners would find very useful. So what they would really be measuring is the number of clicks, because sometimes you will look at a post, it looks like, okay, they just got 3, but it has a lot of clicks. In the middle, they're showing the bathroom. On the next side, they're showing the team members. So even for your own business, ask yourself, what is interesting that I can show in my barbering salon? Is there a specific piece of decoration that people always love? You know, people having coffee or a tea station, whatever it is. Show your experience, right? This here is QuickBooks. Some of you all may be familiar with it. It's a site you can use to do up your accounts and so on and balance your books and so on. So here they have me versus taxes, boom, bang, bang, because trust me, anybody who has had to do taxes for their company, you know how stressful it is. So this is a humorous take on it. Again, engagement, branding, emotions, they all come into play. In the yellow here, this is another post, your guide to small business bookkeeping. So it's useful. So you're looking at these kind of things and what you can do. So, okay, Ashley and I will respond to that one about the getting other countries to invest in their business, because that's another course, right? But when it comes to the content that you're putting forward, you're looking at, if I'm using a channel, so we looked at what all of these companies did. Let's look at stories. Do any of you all use Instagram, and do you use Instagram stories? Tell me in the chat. How many people use Instagram stories? Right. Do you use stickers on the stories? Do you ask questions on the story? Yeah, so we have a lot of people using stories, right? Use stickers, ask questions, take polls, ask surveys. They increase views and engagement on your stories. Yeah, and they're funny. Yeah, somebody's saying they're funny. They are, right? They can be. It adds a little personality to what you're putting up as well, right? Then you look at hashtags. Don't use hashtags all willy-nilly. Use hashtags that matter, right? And that will drive interest from the people you're trying to reach. If you use hashtags that are way too popular, then your stuff is just going to get buried among all of the posts. Yeah. You're also looking at things like, you know, do they generate discussion? And again, that's where the adding the personality and so on comes in. Do I get DMs? Do people share my content? Because we tend to look at the likes. But if you look at, hey, people are sharing this with their friends, sending it to them, they're saving it, this little bookmark here, they're bookmarking it and saving it for down the road. It means it's really resonating with them. So you look at these things. You also look at what the algorithm wants. And let me tell you all something. The more you read about the algorithm, you realize that all the algorithm wants is for you to sound like a normal person, to make it meaningful to people, create the value, create the relevance. They're checking to see if people are into what you're doing. So you have to play around with it a bit, play around with your images and that kind of stuff to see what's working. So they look at here, average time spent on your content, whether they share the links. The more people share your information, whether it is in a private message, yeah, or whatever, they look at, okay, this is something people want us to share with their circle. Let's show it to more people. So these things matter, right? So they look at things like your interest, all of them. Because what I did is I went through all of them and I took a snapshot and I realized all of them was the same thing. They're looking at whether people are interested in what you're doing, the performance of the content, like, you know, past performance, whether people are liking it, whether they're sharing it, this time spent looking at that photo, yeah, or clicking on that story, the relationships, meaning like the circle, the ecosystem of it, the type of post people prefer, whether it's links, photos, you know, frequency, timing. It just comes down to just do stuff that you yourself want to see. Sometimes what I do, I create a dummy account where I don't have anybody following me at all, but I put up content that I created, and just to see how it looks in the feed, like in real life, because sometimes in designing it in Canva or a graphic design, it looks amazing there. But then when you look at it in the feed, you realize, I need to change this, I need to change that, I need to make the colors pop. So we're looking at those things, right? Because you want to be able to create content that people want to see. You want to create content that meets people's needs. How many of you all create your own content? Yeah. So we have a few people who create their content. Great. Right. So what are some of your challenges? What are some of your challenges? Leslie, you raise your hand. So Leslie, what I want you to do for me is just put your question in the chat as well. And the PSCU admin, when I tell her, she will we will open up the questions, right? Because I just want to show you all the content and the ad manager first before we go fully into questions, right? Now we have two polls for you all. One is, what are the challenges you have with social media, right? So we could launch the poll. Let me launch it for you. So we have one on challenges and we have one on branding. So I'm going to write. So the challenges poll is up. So you can view the questions, right? What is your biggest challenge with social media? Is it creating quality content? Is it getting sales from social media? Is it getting more people to see your content? Is it engagement? Is it ensuring that your business system supports its marketing is supposed to be at the end of the day? I think Zoom may have chopped off that line, right? But I put that last one, your systems have to support your marketing. If you don't have anybody to help you with getting 100 orders this month, then you're going to have a problem. People are not going to end up stop ordering from you because they're not getting service. Right? So somebody have here being consistent with the theme of the page and engagements. Right? So some of these challenges, you're going to have them at the same time, but I want to see the one where you have the most challenge, right? So we have, so far, getting more people to see your content is the top challenge. After that, we have creating quality content regularly. So we're seeing that everyone has voted. We have one more minute there, but I think we have everybody there. So, okay, we have the results are in. And because they're very much aligned with what we said we were going to do, we're going to dive into looking at Canva and the ad manager. Yeah. The other thing I want, let's do the other poll one time. We have another poll on branding. Yeah. You all saw the poll results? Right? So you all are seeing that, we just got a tie. So getting more people is the top one, and now getting sales and quality content are at a tie for 37%. So the getting the sales, creating the content, and getting more people to see your content will dovetail to help you get more sales. All right, so let's do this, and then let's dive into the ad manager. So let me show you that, right? I also want you to fill out this poll for me, branding. Remember we spoke about the archetype earlier, which is looking at the type of, what is your personality? But I want you to just think of one word. What is one word? If you could only choose one word, what word would you use to describe your brand? Your brand might be more than one of these words, but if you could only choose one, what would it be? We're seeing caring, We don't have any adventurous brands in here. No goody two shoes. So we have happy, knowledgeable, quirky, adventurous, serious, funny, goody two shoes, caring. All right. So, okay. So we have caring coming out as number one, then knowledgeable, then we have happy, and then we have goody two shoes and quirky, and then adventurous and serious at the bottom there. Now, the reason I asked you all to do this is because even when you're writing, you have to think of your tone of voice for your brand. That is also important for the content you put forward. Because I could be talking about training, but I could do it in a fun way. I could do it in a serious way. Sometimes some audiences would require the serious approach. Some audiences can have the fun approach. I can be serious and still be light. And that's why I'm just asking you to think about these things. So that when you're phrasing things and you're wording things, remember Lola's. You see how they had fun there? Look at what can I do? How can I have fun? The idea is not to be stiff, because unfortunately in Trinidad and Tobago, we think that being professional means being stiff. But if you're stiff, you don't have a personality. If you're stiff, your customer will stay here and you will stay here, and there'll be this whole wave, this whole wide gap between you all, where other competitors are coming in and grabbing them. And we want to avoid that. Now, I want y'all to think about these things, because when you're looking at what you create, and we can end the poll now, when you're looking at how you write, this goes into it. It would also tell you what kind of content you should be creating. So if you want to be knowledgeable, what kind of content should you be creating? What kind of things should you put? Let me pull up the screen where we had some of the suggestions for things that you can post. Where is it? But we have tips, quotes, gamified content, right? Put it in the chat. What kind of things should you be posting about if you want to be seen as knowledgeable or caring or quirky or whatever it is you choose? Things that are fact, check, research, so that, right? Facts, tips, thanks, Jalaludin. I hope I pronounced it properly. Things that are relevant. All right, things that are relevant. All right, what is relevant? Yeah? Gamified facts, right? So like how we had, we can have choose which one is correct, and you put 4 options. So if it is I'm a farmer, how do you choose? How do you know when a watermelon is ripe? And he can put pictures of 2 or 3 or 4 watermelons. Yeah, and then you have to select the one and say, oh, the one with the white spots, or the one where the stem is brown, or whatever it is. That is it. So tips in the area of specialty. Now, we say in tips there, but you'll align those tips with the questions that people have and that they ask. And that's why it's important to also marry information you get just from talking to people to put into your content, because sometimes we put a lot of tips but people not biting. Why? Because we didn't put it across in an interesting way, or in a way that it matters to what they do every day, right? So for me, I also do public speaking coaching. Right now, the big fear is going on a big stage. The fear is coming to sit and talk to people for hours or for an hour. How do we navigate this? How do we make things engaging, even though we may not have the same level of being able to chat with people, right? So we're looking at that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go across now. I want to show you all the ad manager. Yeah. Your homework on your own is to Google Facebook Business Manager. I'm going to type it here. Facebook Business Manager, right? You create an account, business.facebook.com. And in there, you get more features than just your general doing it from your personal account, right? So I'm going to go into Business Manager, right? So you see I'm putting up business.facebook. Because we said that the key challenge was getting people to see our content. All right, so let me go into an account where I don't have anything. I don't have anything to macro. All right, so it comes up. You see here on the left, we see Ads Manager. So I click on that. Yeah. Oh, I have to create an ad account there. So let me go back to one that everything is already set up. So it's loading Business Manager, right? And what I will do, I go on the left again and I go on Ads Manager. You all are seeing the interface there? Oh, it's not showing it. Okay, I now came back in here. Okay, let me see if that might be a safeguard thing, you know. Let me see if I can do it in Chrome. Oh, sorry, I have to share the screen. My bad. Sorry, y'all. Tell me if you're seeing it now. Yes? Okay. Sorry, y'all. I had a senior moment. All right. So we come into the Ads Manager. So let me go back then. Let me start over. Business.facebook.com. All right. So y'all are seeing the interface here, Business Manager. I choose my account because what I did, I set up a Business Manager account as LiveWire Group. I come into Ads Manager here on my left. Yeah, actually, Sun is saying that sometimes it's harder for the older generation. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's easy for some of them. But the good thing with Facebook is that Facebook will always give you a step-by-step run through, right? They will always guide you. And barring that, you can go on YouTube and people have videos. But Facebook will take you through it step by step. So, okay, on our left, we're saying Ads Manager. We click that. All right, so you'll see this came up, right? This is what the interface looks like. If it is that you have several ads already set up, you will see them all listed here. It would show you, the delivery, the bid strategy, the budget you use, the results, the reach, the impressions, the clicks, all of that. We're going to come in here and create. Okay, Vaughn, thank you. So in create, you're seeing here, create new campaign. Again, you see realize already they've started giving you options. Do you want awareness, brand awareness, or reach? Reach is for when you just want to click to the websites and you want them to reach as many people as possible. With the reach, you tend to not get as many likes sometimes because Facebook will show it to people who tend to just click through as opposed to liking. Because on Facebook and Instagram and so on, we have people with different behaviors. So like things, our like is our one action. We're not going to also click through to the website. Some of us, we just click through, right? Then you have traffic, engagement, app installs. So if you want an app, you want to build awareness about the app and downloads, you choose that. Video views, you put up a video, you want more people to see it, you choose that. The lead generation, remember I spoke to you all about capturing people's contact information. This is permission based because the person will only submit their information if they want you to have the information. Now, the thing about lead forms is if you tell people, hey, submit your email address and we will email you, you have to ensure that you send that email. You also in there get to create options, whether you want to know people where they're working, if they're working. Facebook will tell you what you can and cannot ask, but you can find information for lead generation. Then you have messages, conversions, catalog sales, store traffic. So you have those options. We're going to choose engagement. And I'm going to run you all through this. And then we're going to go into Canva. So we chose engagement. And we see here, let me move this bar so I can get to do things for you. Right. You see here post engagement. You can choose page likes, event responses, whatever. But we're going to leave it at post engagement. Underneath here, you see name your campaign, optional. We come on the scroll, and we will put PSCU book. Right, and then we'll continue. We could also put in here, name the ad. Yeah, test. Oh. Go to continue. And then you see everything again is laid out in steps. Auction, we know we're going for engagement. We click show more options and see what they have. Do we have a spending limit? Right, we could set that in the budget area. You can come down to test. Do you want to A/B test? You click this if you want to test to see which photos work better. So you can use the same caption, but use 2 different photos, and Facebook will test it among people evenly to see which one they prefer. And what you can do is set it for like a 3 days, 4 days, what have you, before you spend your bigger budget. So I do that sometimes. If I know that, okay, a client has given me X amount of money to spend, but I don't want to pelt all that money on the ads without testing them first. I test to see what performs best, and then I run those ads. So I've already done a test, so I know I have a better chance of getting better returns on the money that I spent. Right? You can do things like test audience, whether the men or women respond better, whether people in Arima want my service more than people in San Fernando, and those kind of things. Right? You can choose budget campaign budget optimization. If it is you want them to distribute your budget, your overall budget, across all the ads that you have running. Right? But as you can see, when you scroll through, you realize that they have options, and Facebook will always walk you through all that you have to do. Let's go to the next one. When you click next, all right, you all seeing budget here, right? So you come, don't click daily budget, click, and then you will see lifetime budget show up. Click on that. So we feeling wassy, so we choosing $500. Real wine selling for Christmas. And then you will see a schedule right here. You see the start date, the 21st. You can also schedule it to start lower down. You just click on the date and you'll see Facebook comes up. I find that sometimes when you schedule stuff, it doesn't always show up on time because the human beings at Facebook, they're a little unreliable at times. So I just go with this, and you can set your end date as well. If you, yes. All right, so Janelle just raised the hand. We'll come to your question when I finish. When I come out of this, we'll go into some questions and then we'll come back into Canva, right? But here you can adjust, put your question in the chat area, or the question and answer area, and we come to that, right? But you can come in here and you can choose your dates. You want to change the time it ends, you can come here as well and change it to 9 p.m. You come down So it's very logical. You just have to take your time and read. You can create your audience here. Location, Trinidad and Tobago. What age? You come here and you click the age. I know that the people who tend to buy my product, maybe let's say 30 and up. So I click 30, yeah, and you go through and you just choose the age group, right? Again, the same thing. You come here, you click edit, you click genders. Do you want to target men and women? Well, then leave all. If it's just the men alone, right? So the guy with the barbering salon, you could just choose the man alone, and you know that you're getting closer to your target. You can also come here, detailed targeting, come across, you'll see edits, click that, and we can type in here people who like what? Barbering. Okay, they don't have, right? Barber style, barber. So that's an interest. So you know that these are people who actively like barber places on Trinidad. So the man who like barber pages in Trinidad, we have 18,000. You want to reach more people, so you might add in something like menswear. Right, so we have menswear. Right, we still at 18,000, so okay. Let's type in Trinidad Express. Let's see if we find anything. Well, he said successful men, right? So let's put men who like Forbes magazine. You see, we went up to 26,000 in the corner on your right. So the more you put in stuff, the more it increases. And then when you've reached your number or the people that you want to target, so if all you want to target is 26,000, that might be fine for you because that's all you will need, right? So you come down, you'll see placements. You can leave it at automatic placements if you want Facebook to put it in the Instagram feed, Facebook, all the different streams and placements on Facebook and Instagram, stories, explore, even the little off Facebook ads that they have. Or you can choose manual placements where you choose where you want things. So you'll see here the platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and so on. They will also show you the placements. So you see here, you can uncheck, no, I don't want it to show in Marketplace. I don't want to show it in the video feeds. Do I get irritated when an ad shows up during my video? Yes, I do. So maybe I don't want it to show in stream either. So you can click all of those things. So you'll realize it is step by step and you do get to see what is going on. I wanted to, let me go back up here. So detailed targeting. All right, so you see we went back up. Facebook has this silly thing it does sometimes where when you go back up, it says, oh no, you have to reset your start date. So you see the little caution, the red caution arrow here, you just click, reset your start date and you're back in order. Right underneath here, you also have show more options. You click on that, you can schedule your ads. So where you see ad scheduling, you come across the edit and you can say, I want to run ads on a schedule as opposed to running them all of the time. So you see Facebook already warned us in the corner here, hey, you haven't filled in dates. You all need to go and fill in dates. So we come here and we'll say, you know what? We only want to target people between 12 to 9 during the week. Let's uncheck this box. And you know what? We want to get them on Sundays too. So we might put them 3 to 9 on Sundays. Or we might say, you know what? I'm only going to run it on Mondays. So let's delete all of this. Because we realize that our people get active more on the weekend. So you're all seeing how you can schedule when your ads run. So you can also time it to how people behave around your business. Right? So you come through, you do all of that. We've clicked all of these things with the placement on stories, Instagram, and so on. Yeah, and we click next. And they give you your estimated thing. People always say, if Facebook tells you you can reach 9.5, 9,500 people to 23,000, go kind of for somewhere in between and double your budget, because they tend to be a little unreliable. You click next at the bottom. And then you can say, okay, this is the page I wanted to run for, so I'm going to choose Little Giant Ladder. Yeah, it doesn't have an Instagram page, so we just leave that there. And we can either create a post or use an existing post. So here we have use existing post. Here we have create ad. If you click create ad, right, then you go into underneath, you will see where, you add media, that's where you add your photo, you see add image or add video and so on. So it's pretty straightforward. If you want, you can just, to make life easy, just use a post that you have on your page already. So you go back up to add setup here and you click use existing post. Click that. Then you come here, select post. And it will pull a post from the page. So you see it brought up the list of posts. I selected one, I press continue. And there I have it. The ad is there. The other thing I can do is come to call to action, click add button, and I can click learn more or send message, send WhatsApp, get quotes or whatever. If I click learn more, I put in the address here. Yeah. And then I click update post. And then I click publish at the bottom. I'm not going to click publish because I'm not running an ad. But this is how you create your post in the ad manager. You can always go back in and check to see, how much money is being spent so far and how people are managing, right? So I'm stopping the screen share there. I know we had 2 questions. Sean asked, how well does the location setting for the ad manager work? Y'all, if you have questions about ad manager, raise your hand or type it in the Q&A, okay? So how well does the location setting for the ad manager work in Trinidad? Is it worth it to specify one area? Example, Chaguanas, definitely yes, right? Because if it is at let's say the same crew cuts we saw in the slides, he's based in Chaguanas. If he recognizes that here's what, the shop kind of empty today, I don't expect people from Port of Spain to come and check me today, but I can tell the people in Chaguanas. Or if I have a clothing store or a food store based in San Fernando, I would target it more to the southern catchment area. Same thing with Arima, Sandy Grande, that kind of thing. So it is worth it to use that. It's what we call geo-targeting for fancy terms. So it works effectively. If it is at your base, say in Tobago, you don't want to run an ad for Trinidad and Tobago, because then what Facebook does is that it will always feed the majority of ads to where you have the majority of people. So if you have Trinidad pulled into Tobago, then your ads want to reach people in Port of Spain, San Fernando, Chaguanas, Scarborough, all over, and Tobago will just get a little piece of the slice of reach that you're going for. Remember when we correlated advertising and reach? The only thing is that because then your audience has become much more niche and smaller, you're going to pay a higher price, because that's how Facebook works. For example, for your interest, if you choose people who like Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, that kind of thing, what they consider to be, I guess, premium taste, they tend to increase the charges for that. But you play around and you get a sense of what is working. What you can also do is try what I call mass penetration. So sometimes it's good to drill down into individual interests, but then sometimes you realize your price is increasing. So what you can do is what you can do is look at mass penetration. You know what? Typically, my audience tends to be people between ages 25 to 35. I'll just target people in Tobago between those ages, or people in Trinidad and Tobago between those ages, or people in Arima between those ages. It's also good to just go into and play with it because it gives you a sense of your audience size in terms of your online audience size for these catchment areas. So you can do that. Do we have any other questions with respect to the Facebook ad manager? Let me know before we move on to Canva. No questions? All right. So let me, if you have a question at any point throughout, just remember you can put it in your, raise your hand and put it in the Q&A section. All right, let me share my screen again. I want to show you all Canva. All right, so canva.com. Now, you all, I do have a pro account. So some of the features that I have, you all won't have on a free account. What I recommend that you do is if you don't already have a Canva account, please go and sign up for a free one. One is asking, what if someone steals your ad and changes your business and take your finances? Well, then Vaughn, you have to call one of the lawyers in the room that we have here, because that is a whole separate matter. What you would need to do is report. You can click report the ad to Facebook, but then you would need to take it offline and follow it up in the real world with a lawyer. Yeah. All right, so Canva, we're in Canva. This is what the Canva interface looks like. If you need business cards, you can design them in Canva. If you need flyers, whatever you want, you can do it in Canva. Canva also gives you the option to download print quality PDFs. So I've done trifold brochures and that kind of stuff, business cards using Canva designs that I've done. So these are some of the things that you will see. Right? Instagram posts, Instagram stories, they give you templates, logos, animated social media, that kind of thing, presentations, whatever. So let's go into doing an Instagram post. What some people also do is, and what I did, I literally just clicked Instagram post and this came up. What some people do is they use the same size, the same Instagram post sizes for Facebook as well to decrease their workflows because that size also works on Facebook. If you look on the left of the screen here, you're seeing templates. And the more you start to play with Canva, you start to realize that even big brands are using Canva. Agencies use Canva and all sometimes, right? Virgin Atlantic uses Canva. A lot of people use Canva. So you can come in here and take a template and you can tweak it and adjust it to how you want your stuff to look. And you can, the thing with Canva, when you come to explore with Canva, have some time because it's like, I call it a coloring book for adults. We tend to go through. So, okay, let me click on this one. So you see here, it brings up the design one time. What I can do, I could change the color. See, I click on this, the two colors. Look at your top left above the template. You see the turquoise and the purple. I can come and I can change them to yellow. Because I have Canva Pro, you'll see here they have the different colors, but they also have brand colors. I can come here and just click my yellow, and all of a sudden, everything, and I could just literally delete this. To delete stuff, look at the top right, you'll see your different options. Yeah, you see the trash can at the end here. You can crop stuff, you can flip stuff. So here I can change just to my brand coloring. I'm changing the brains to black. Yeah, so this is just, you know, a basic idea of what Canva can do for you to help you get set up quickly. They also have nice templates in the free account. The free account is great as well. It's just that it takes you a little longer to learn it because they don't, they have to leave back something a little extra special for the people who pay it. But the more you learn it, you start to put the elements together and realize, oh, what they did here. If I want to use, let's say I'm a barbering salon. I like the simplicity of this design. I find it's what we call a minimalist. So I want to use it too. What do? I come at the top of the design, and here I see 3 icons at the top right of the image. I click the one in the middle. When you hover on them, it will tell you, whether it's to add notes, whether it's to duplicate it, whether it's to add a plain page. I'm going to click duplicate because it'll be less work for me to do. So I come here, all I do is I click on the brains again and I delete the brains. Now, everything that you want to use in Canva, the majority of it is on your left side. Here we have the templates on the outer left. You have your uploads as well, photos, elements, text, styles, music. You can get free videos, right? But here we just want to do a basic text-based post. So what I will do, I come to my outer left. I see templates. You all seeing it? Templates. Then I see uploads. Then I see photos. Then I see elements. I come into elements. And I will type barbering icon. So we start seeing a chair. We see a barbering chair here. Click on that. You see it shows up. And I can change, come back again at the top and click this brown to black if I want the chair to stand out some more. Right? And I could literally, if I want, I don't have a lot of time today, so I'm just going to use this chair. I'm going to come back on the left. I click on text. Yeah. But you all, before I click on text, you all are noticing now, remember, this is the pro account, right? But it's showing me underneath the chair that I chose, it shows magic recommendations. And it's showing me more barbering icons. So I click on see all, and you see, look, there's somebody doing somebody's hair. I don't know what is at the bottom. Is that what? Oh, that is his little tool kit of equipment, right? We might use the shears that they use to cut hair. And we do this lighter brown, maybe not kind of light gray or whatever, just for, well, I'm not looking so much up. Right? So you have these. Or you might say, you know what, I find that's too clunky. So let me delete that, go back on the left. But I'm realizing, hey, I could get more than one post here. So I click on the scissor. I turn that to black because it right now is a kind of light brown that you're not seeing properly. And make it black. But I don't want to have both of them in one image. So again, I click duplicate. I will delete the chair here. Have my image. Yeah, and you all look at this. I click on the image. When you go into Canva yourself, you will see it clearer on your screen. But when you click on the image, you'll see a little circle at the bottom. You can turn the image to whatever angle you want. You also have the option, you can turn it. You can also click here, flip. And I can flip it vertical, right? And then I come back to the left and I put text and I put add heading. And here I just come, pull it up. I want the text to look bigger. So choose 56. I can come where you see the Century Old Style here. And I choose one of the fonts. If you're on the free version, you won't get all of the funds. If you're on the paid version, you will get more funds. You will also be able to upload funds, right? So we have this here, it's centered, but we want it to be a little better aligned. So we click at the top here alongside the formatting options, and we click the same way you have your center and so on for Word. We have it here. And you come, you can make it bigger. And it, don't wait for your haircut. Right, because I've added more text, it's a little too big, so we decrease the text a bit. Right, but you'll get a sense of, you know, what you can do. We'll pull the scissors around some more. We want the haircuts to go in one word. Right, and there you have that. And you might come back to text, add another piece of text to put the phone number. Right? You can come back into Elements. Click on Elements. Elements has a lot of stuff for you all to play with. A lot of stuff. So that's why I said create the account if you don't have one as yet. And just play around. You'll see stuff that you can do. You can come here, click a shape like the square. No, we don't want that. We want the square. Square is a bit big right now, but we want to put the phone number on it. We cover the phone number with the square. We pull in the square a little. Look to the top, y'all. On the right here, you'll see position. You press backward. You can press it forward. Right? And we can click on it, we realize the text, the font is there already. So we press white. Yeah. And again, you can go and change the text and that kind of stuff. So you're realizing here we're getting more stuff. Now, if you don't want to use icons and you want a real picture, you come at the bottom, you just scroll down, come at the bottom, press add page. Always go to your left. Everything is on your left. We come to photos. That's the third option here. Right? The third option, and you see here, we come and we type barber. And you see they have the barber shop. These images are copyright free. So Canva allows you to use them. So like the more you start to use it too, you start to realize, you ever like saw an ad from a big company and you saw the same image used by another company? It's because they're all using the same photo stuff. What some people would do is like with the free version of Canva, I wonder if my internet is strong enough right now to do this. But with the free version, you can do things like click on this, go to effects at the top here. Remember, everything is to the left and the top. I'm coming here to the top. I click effects. I click background remover. Let's see if this is clean cut enough for them to remove the black. So what it's attempting to do is to remove the black around the image of the guys cutting here. So you all see that? Right, it did that. But what I can do now, I can enlarge the photo. Because if I have decided, hey, yellow is my color, I can come and then I can come right, I can scroll back up. I can copy this, come to these three dots. So sometimes what it does, it will literally show you the duplicate option at the top, or it might have the three dots. I click on that. I press these two squares that says duplicate. So you know, see I get this again, and I just come and I pull it down. So let's say I've decided that the way I communicate my value proposition is to say you don't ever have to wait for a haircut. You all see how we have the content right there? Yeah, if he wants a video, he can do that. If let's say, okay, we've been doing baba, let's do wine. You come back in here and you cut glass of wine, or let's put drinking wine. Now, of course, because these pictures are all based on the US, you'll always find that most of them will give you pictures of Caucasian people. What you can do is, okay, in between you will find, Caribbean looking people. Sometimes you won't. So sometimes you could just put plus black. Now, sometimes the results you get for black are a little off-putting. So sometimes you can put African, or you can put ethnic, or you can put Indian. What I tend to do is when I have time, I go and I actually collect images that I think look appropriate and Caribbean. Because sometimes if you're looking for Indian people as well, whenever you type Indian, the first thing they give you are people in saris. And you have to dig in a bit more to get the more modern image. But look, we're seeing here on our left, we're seeing a lady drinking, but she's ordering. So this doesn't fit the ordering wine for home. So let's put back drinking wine at home. Plus, I'll just going to put ethnic. Yeah, so you see how we get her? And she's having her glass of wine with her green. And we could just pull the image. Sometimes too, you can, let me delete it. I can drag the image across. And it fits into the whole frame. Her head is cut off. So I can go to crop at the top. Remember, y'all, everything is on your left, right? And just pull down. And you see I have her there. So I want you all on your own to go and play around with Canva. Yeah, go and play around with it. You will find options. Let's say you wanted to say, here's what people always using the example of women drinking wine. Look, we have a businessman here, right? So the person who is doing the barbering company might decide to partner with the person who's selling wine and say, hey, we offer a sip of wine while you get your bald head, right? Or if you're doing risk continuity, you type in here for a business situation. But there's a lot of stuff you can do with Canva. Everything that you need is here on your right. If you take your own images, you just, again, go on the left, click on uploads, upload. You see how I uploaded chronics into the system, how I uploaded the crew cuts post in the system, and I come here and boom. See? Chronics back in the game. Right, so this is just to give you all a taste of, how it works. One of the other benefits of using Pro is that when you want to duplicate images, let's say for Twitter or something else, you don't have to go and create it from scratch. When you have the free version, you have to go and build everything from scratch. But what the Pro version does is you can literally create an image dimension, even for like a normal 8.5 by 11 page, and it will pull it in. You will have a little tweaking to do, but it's much less work than you would have to do otherwise. So I wanted to give you all a look at how you can do these things and go into it if it is that you want to actually build out the content. So I showed you all how to use Ad Manager. Showing you how to use Ad Manager means that you have to figure out how you're going to allocate some spend to your advertising. Whether it is that you're going to just spend $20 a month, which may mean I'm going to run an ad for a week every month. But I'm going to select my best content. So what some people do as well, you leave the content for a while, see how it works organically. What are people tending to like just on their own? Yeah, because all of your content maps back to your objectives. You know that there are certain posts that you're going to use for your ads, or you might just create a whole ad on its own. If it is you want to leave your posts are just helpful stuff, tips and so on, but your sales post, you can create that in Ad Manager by itself. Or you can have it in your mix, because there's nothing wrong with having something that promotes your product in your post, because I mean that's the whole reason we're there. The important thing is to not be like a snake oil salesman who just pushing product, right? But you use these different things to help you. So you have Canva. Remember to Google Facebook Business Manager, right? I'm gonna pull up there's Facebook Blueprint as well. Yeah, you can also get trials. I'm gonna put it here in the chat. Get a trial with Agora Pulse or like Sprout Social, if it is that you want to get a sense of what they're saying is the best time to post images and so on, post for your page. So you have all of those options in front of you. If you have questions at any time, you can always send me an email. Right, I'm going to put it here because you're at 7 o'clock already. Right, so I'm putting my email address in the chat. So if you want to ever email me, you can do that. You can also follow me on Instagram. Yeah. If it is, you have a question and you want to ask something at any point in time. Does anyone have any other questions? You all understand everything? Talk in the chat. 2 people have their hands raised. Lauren, admin, can we just let Lauren and DCL talk? Hi, Lauren. Ask to unmute. Thank you, Chuma. Yes, Sakini, glad. You all can reach out to me for real. I didn't put, I wouldn't play, I don't know you all. Just remind me that you were from the PSCU webinar. Hi, Lauren.
Hello.
Hi, you're live.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. I am Lauren Peters. I'm the one who's talked about the solar systems and how you can reduce your electric bill.
Yes.
So is Nuance Security and Solar Systems Limited. What I wanted to ask about is using social media and recognizing or tagging someone else's work. What should we do there? What kind of relationship? Should we just put the post out there and tag the other person, or just leave it there as an inspiration? That's what I wanted to find out.
When you say targeting other people's work, what do you mean?
Well, tag other individuals. So if you see an inspiration from others,
yeah,
feel that we're doing, then should we post it and tag them, or just leave it as an inspiration without tagging?
You can tag them. The same rules that apply in real life apply to social. So, the courtesy of saying, hey, this is Lauren's work, this is a really cool application of a solar panel tool. And you tag their Instagram tag or their Facebook page. So you're giving them credit because you're not trying to misrepresent the work as your own. So you can definitely do that. Another thing is, if you are showcasing somebody else's image, you can't use it as an ad unless you have the explicit permission to do so. But if it's just a post, you can definitely do that.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Somebody's asking if the video will be available again. It may be Lauren. Somebody's in the chat asking for the name of your company. We have one other person. Okay, that person. All right. So I think that brings us to the close of questions. I'm seeing a hand up, but that was Lauren who just went, and Garcia had to leave, I think. PCL, do you still want to ask a question? All right, y'all. Y'all, I just put back, someone was asking for my email address. I just put it back in there, Karel, Karel, at Livewired, LIVEWIRED, remember the D, group.com. All right. So thank Jalaludin. I'm typing it one more time. You all, pause. Let me see if I put a smiley face. If that might make it. So you all, I'm gonna put back my email address in the chat. Yeah, I'm putting 2 shades next to it so that it could jump out. I wanted to know if the video was available after. DCL, I think it may be, I don't want to say 100% certain, but I think it may be. The last time it was, right? So on Instagram, yeah. But y'all can always send me an email or, you know, send me a message on Instagram and I will respond. Yeah? Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Colleen. Thank you, everyone. Jalaludin, did you see the email I posted? Thanks, Aline. Thanks, Avian. Yakini. Crystal. Where is, I don't want to miss, but Chuma. Vaughn, we haven't forgotten you. I posted it. Okay, let me call it out because I just posted it again and I'm seeing it. It's Karel, Karel, at LIVEWIRED, livewiredgroup.com. Remember the D at the end of Livewire. For Instagram, it's the same thing, Livewired Group. LIVEWIRED group. Yeah. Thank you, Letitia. I'm glad you enjoyed it. All right. So I hope everybody got the email. What they'll probably do, we could probably just send it out again or something. Okay. So it's in the Q&A set. Yeah, I had put it across there too. Yeah. And I'll put the Instagram there as well. So I think that is us there. I hope y'all got it. Just remember, Carol. Yeah, and you can add me on LinkedIn or whatever. So y'all, thanks again. Have a great night. And all the best with your business. Remember, if you have any challenges along the way, really, you can send me an email. Huh? Right? So we'll talk. Enjoy the rest of your night, folks. Have a good one.